Okay, we're going to finish things off with James Evan Pilato on the Bob Tuskin Show. We've been going over 2010 to 2011's, excuse me, 2011 to 20, wait, this was 2010 to 2011. Okay.
Yeah, and then they call it their 2012 list. It does get a little confusing there, but it's
Yeah.
projectcensored.org, top 25
This
censored
is the
stories.
most recent list, though, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. I got confused there because I was reading
Mm-hmm.
2011, 20. All right. Anyways, I hardly know what day it is today. I
It's a
hardly know what
date
I had
which
for
will live in
lunch today.
infamy.
All right, we're at number 15. We're going to roll through these last 10. Big polluters freed from environmental oversight. We were just talking a little bit
We
about
did
that.
briefly mention that.
Yeah, and we talked, we didn't talk about the BP scandal, but
Uh-huh.
we
And I
already know
even
all
saw
about
just today,
that.
Halliburton was destroying evidence, just after the BP, disaster. And I think it's actually BP and Halliburton fighting each other. So hopefully they'll destroy each other. But number
Interesting.
16 on the list, sweatshops in China are making your iPods while workers suffer. This is one of the harder things because I find, my MacBook and my, pod pretty indispensable for doing alternative media. And then there's this specter all the time of this, the way they're produced at Foxconn and all these, kind of horrible places where, again, workers regularly commit suicide.
How do you feel that the alternative media has, you know, its name in the name of, while they're sweatshops doing their thing? I mean,
I don't know. It's difficult. It's difficult because how are we going to do any of this without a computer?
it is catch-22. It's a weird thing. Number 17, the super bug bacteria spreading worldwide. I don't know what they mean by that. Hold on,
Yeah,
let me
I'm
click
I'm
on the
not. Yeah,
story.
that's like okay. Let's click that one. What are they talking about?
Let's see here. Lethal super bugs are emerging that do not respond to any known drugs. Oh no. Is this hype?
The World Health Organization states that the New Delhi, also known as the NDM1 superbug, was recently found in UK patients and has reached a critical point. I would just add in there, and we'll touch on this again, is, gosh, I wonder where these came from. Were they created in a lab? Maybe.
Oh, but these super bugs, James, are resistant to carbapenem?
Well,
Carbapenem? What is that word? Carbapenem antibiotics?
I was going to say, speaking of things being resistant, let's just keep trucking to number 18. Monsanto tries to benefit from Haiti's earthquake and give them, genetically modified foods. And I'm not sure if it was Haiti or other countries, and maybe it was both, that even in the wake of a catastrophic earthquake, when offered genetically modified food, they go, no thanks.
Hell no. Look at what happened, what's happening in India with all the farmers committing suicide there. Because they can't keep up with these seeds. They traditionally saved seeds and were dependent on the genetically modified monsters. So yeah, that's a definite story. At number 21, it's something we've discussed: Lyme disease, an emerging epidemic.
Well, we missed 19 on the list. That
Oh,
would
well, I
be
wanted to skip that one because that's the most censored Bob to know. I'm joking. Go ahead.
19. Oxfam exposes how aid is used for political purposes. So, shocker, international aid organizations are used to influence, societies. 20 on the list, U.S. agencies try to outlaw GMO food labeling. So that's something here in the States we just can't seem to get around. But everywhere else in the world, it seems, it's become law already.
And now I can go at number 21 to Lyme disease and emerging epidemics.
I've got a book on my shelf called Lab 257 that pretty much makes the case that Lyme disease was, of course, made in a lab at the Plum Island
Plum
facility.
Island, yeah.
Number 22 on the list, participatory budgeting, a method to empower local citizens and communities. This sounds like the only positive story on the list here. PB,
Yeah,
a process that allows citizens to decide directly how to allocate all or part of a public budget, typically through a series of meetings worked by community delegates or representatives and ultimately a final vote. First implemented in Brazil in 1990 and has spread since. So yeah, that's pretty much the only positive thing about people taking into their own hands the power that is rightfully theirs and exercising it.
I'd like to see more positive stories, but unfortunately, we have to deal with all sorts of junk that they censor. And they won't tell you that the alternative media has made a lot of steps forward
Yep.
in this fight against the powers that shouldn't be in many respects. We are growing in numbers, and the alternative media is beginning to surpass the lamestream. At number 23, worldwide movement to ban or charge fees for plastic bags. Now, this one's relevant for you, James.
Yeah, I was just gonna say if you knew that or remember that or not, we have successfully pretty much outlawed plastic bags here in Portlandia.
Yeah, so I don't know how I feel about that. Some of the bags are compostable.
And I think it's just kind of another situation of that, oh, let's ban everything. Let's not let people make, decisions themselves, however stupid they may or may not be.
Well, I don't use them.
No.
I'll get if they're compostable, I'll get them. Or if not, I try to usually just hold things with my hands because I'm the bachelor type that goes to the store. I go to the farmer's market and I'll just. But either that or I'll take a paper bag and I use that for stuff in the garden or
Yeah.
compost it or whatever. So.
Number 24 on the list, South Dakota takes extreme measures to be the top anti-abortion state. Any thoughts on that one?
No, I don't know much about it. How about North Dakota though on their bank?
That would be a positive story.
Yeah, right.
So let's wrap it all up with the top 25 ProjectCensored.org stories of the past year with the extension of depleted uranium to Libya. Another
Yikes.
mission accomplished situation. But again, they'll tell all of us, we're evil and you're wasting power and you're not recycling or you're not composting. But they're using destructive depleted uranium, white phosphorus, God knows what else, all around the world with no consequences. At least not immediate. They're all going to deform and die. And we're going to run out of places to live, but, they'll get away with it in the moment.
And never mind the abundance of fresh water that they had there. That's going to be ruined because of depleted uranium and on and on and on.
And the global
it's
food
very
crisis
sick.
expands.
What's that?
The global food crisis expands.
Exactly.
By design.
By design, yeah. These sickos. Anyways, that was the top 25 Project Censored stories, 2010 to 2011, their 2012 list.
A pretty gruesome way, I guess, to close out this year between ourselves, Bob. And I think we've started to do these monthly appearances, I think since April of this past year, 2011. And like I said, I really appreciate, having the opportunity. And then I love being able to try and, capture these and put these up on my YouTube channel. It helps me kind of build up my video abilities. But I just want to quickly mention, because as the year is going to close out, and we won't talk again until first week of 2012, that, of course, New World Next Week will keep going. NewWorldNextWeek.com, my video series with James Corbett. We're rapidly approaching our 100th episode, and we will have kind of a big year-end wrap-up episode coming up. And I'll have my favorite music of the year mixtape coming towards the end of the year, and I'm approaching episode 250 of the Media Monarchy podcast. Wow. And one of my favorite things, as I've probably mentioned the last few times here, is twitter.com/Media Monarchy. I've tricked it out to where there's a ton of news from all of my websites and others, and it's the most kind of real time.
All right, thanks, James.
Thanks so much.